Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees who have gathered for this Sunday feast program at ISKCON Columbus. I was asked to speak on this topic, how to be an instrument in Krishna's plans, what it means to be an instrument in Krishna's hands. We'll discuss few things from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and also Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, what it means to be an instrument in Krishna's plans. All of us are fragmental parts of Krishna, as Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Mamayivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are all fragmental parts of the Supreme Lord Krishna. We are his amshas. And also, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said during the Ratha Yatra at Jagannath Puri, he said that I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Kshatriya, I am not a Vaishya, I am not a Shudra. I am not a Brahmachari, I am not a Grihastha, I am not a Vanaprastha, I am not a Sannyasi. And who am I? Gopi Bhartuh Padakamalayur Dasa Dasanu Dasaha. I am just a servant of the servants of the gopis, of the master of the gopis. Gopi Bhartuh Padakamalayur Dasanu Dasaha. I am servant of the servant of Krishna. We are all amshas of Krishna. We are all servants of Krishna. We are all dependent on Krishna. Naturally, the credit for our accomplishments belongs to Krishna and not us. Okay. To be in this consciousness is to be an instrument in Krishna's hands. This is a short summary of the entire discussion that we are going to have. But let us substantiate this principle of being an instrument in Krishna's plans by quoting several shlokas and by remembering several pastimes from our scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in specific. And this word instrument comes prominently in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, initially Arjuna said that Krishna, I have no attachment to this kingdom. That's good. Being detached is great. But don't be so attached to your detachment. Right? So you should not be so detached that you become so detached from Krishna's plan also. Arjuna was exhibiting so much of detachment from all the royal opulences and war, victory, etc., etc. First chapter is filled with description of Arjuna's compassion for his relatives and Arjuna's fear of future consequences of the war, fear of losing family traditions. He said many things. So many arguments he has given, logical arguments from his perspective. But Krishna said, what happened to you? Klaibyam masmagamaha partha naitatva upapadyate kshudram hridaya dorparyam tyaktva uttishta parantapa. You are parantapa. Parantapa means one who defeats his enemies. You are known to be a great warrior. You have so many military certificates. You are a celebrated fighter of your times. How can you become so timid and so impotent at this hour of crisis? Get up. Tasmatvam uttishta ishola bhasva. So he began saying like this, get up and fight from second chapter. He continued the discussion till 11th chapter. Of course, till 18th chapter. In the 11th chapter he was saying, Tasmatvam uttishta yashola bhasva hitva shatrun bhung swarajyam samriddham Mayaivaite nihataha purvameva nimittamatram bhava samyasachin. Second chapter shloka. He just began with Klaivyam Masmaga Mahapartha Naitatva Upapadyate Kshudram Hridaya Dormulyam. You just give up your impotency, weakness of heart, get up and fight. Same statement, more or less. He repeated in the 11th chapter also, right? Tasmat, therefore, Tvam Uttishta, you get up, Arjuna. Yashola Bhasva, and become famous, right? Gain victory and become famous. Yashola Bhasva. How? Hitva Shatrun, conquer your enemies. Bhungshva Rajyam Samurdham, enjoy a prosperous kingdom. Mayaivaite Nehataha Purvameva. I have already killed all of them. Mayaivaite, by me, Nihataha. They have already been killed. Who? Duryodhan, Dushasan, Karna, Shakuni, even Bhishma, Drona, everybody is killed. You want to see? Here is the display. Krishna displayed the Kala Rupa. First he displayed Vishwarupa in the 11th chapter. Vishwarupa is the universal form where he showed everything in the entire universe at one place. And later Krishna showed Kala Rupa. Kala Rupa means the form of time. Vishwarupa is the form of universe, the universal form. This is time form. So in this Kala Rupa, Krishna displayed all the future results of the war at one place. He had hundreds and hundreds of faces. And from some of those faces, fire is emanating. And this Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Shakuni, all these people are entering into those fires. Not the Pandavas, but the people who are on the side of Adharma, they are entering into the fire. And once when I was giving some online class to kids, one kid from this area only, America. So she just showed me this 11th chapter book, Bhagavad Gita. Prabhu, is this demon or Krishna? She showed Vishwarupa picture. I said, it's Krishna. Why did you get that question? Why Krishna is so scared? So for some small children like that, Krishna is Radha Natabar, just playing on the hoods of Kalia, or doing some other sweet pastimes, stealing butter or whatever. So that's what Krishna is for them, sweet Krishna. But they could not handle this ghastly form of Krishna, where hundreds and thousands of faces and the mouths are emanating fire and people are entering into the fire and he looks very fearsome. And Arjuna got scared. I told her, that little child, only 6 years old, not only you are scared, Arjuna also got scared. Arjuna became so afraid and said, stop this darshan, close the darshan. Open the darshan of 400 Vishnu form and 200 Krishna form. I want to see a Sham Sundar or Vishnu Rupa. Vishnu Rupa darshan close. Kala Rupa darshan, please close. So Krishna displayed this fierce form of Kala Rupa and demonstrated the future effects of the war. And he said, I have already killed all these people. The moment they have insulted Draupadi, the moment they contemplated harm for my pure devotees, I have decided that I have to kill them. I have killed them. And what am I supposed to do? Arjuna is saying, you manifest their death. Huh? You have killed them, I have to manifest their death. Yes, that's what you are meant to do. So he says, Mayaiva ite nihataha purvameva. Earlier only I have killed them. Nimittamatram bhava savyasachi. Bhava, you become. Savyasachi. What is Savyasachi? He can shoot arrows with two hands. Can you shoot arrows with two hands? We can't shoot even with one hand also. Right? We are not warriors. But Arjuna can shoot arrows with two hands. Okay, he is so expert. He doesn't have 4 hands, by the way. So Savyasachi. So on one hand, Krishna is describing Arjuna as Savyasachi. You're an expert warrior. You're the greatest bowman. You're the holder of Gandiva bow. You're the most celebrated fighter of your times. On the other hand, he's saying, Nimitta Matram Bhava. You are just an instrument in my hands. You are so talented. You are so powerful. You are so great. You are so famous. But you are an instrument in my hands. The real fame of a devotee, the real glory of a devotee is in acting as a humble instrument in Krishna's hands. You see, Krishna is holding that beautiful flute there. In Vrindavan, Krishna plays his flute. What is flute? A dry bamboo wood with some holes in it. That's all. Fine. Dry bamboo wood with holes in it. Krishna Thakur describes in the 10th canto, 21st chapter. Something dry is moistening the eyes of hundreds and thousands of hearers of that flute song. Flute is dry, but it is bringing tears from the eyes of devotees, right? When the devotees hear Krishna's flute song, they have tears of ecstasy. Something that has holes in it, it cannot hold. This bottle is there is a hole here, it cannot hold water, isn't it? But Krishna's flute has so many holes, but the flute is holding so many ragas, right? So many ragas are coming out of that flute. It's holding so many ragas. So although flute is just a simple dry bamboo wood, Krishna has empowered the flute with the ability to mesmerize all the hearers of his flute song and bring tears from their eyes. And those tears are completely overwhelming them. When you get tears of ecstasy, it's like you are so absorbed, you are so involved. That flute song has completely captivated your heart, captured your attention. You feel that there's nothing else other than this. You feel like this flute song, let it continue forever. That's what you are feeling. So Krishna has empowered that flute with the ability to steal the hearts of everybody. You know Damodar Leela? What did Krishna do in Damodar Leela? His belly was tied with a rope, and the rope is tied to grinding mortar. So Krishna started crawling. By dragging the grinding mortar between two Yamalarjuna trees, he uprooted them. Now just think about it logically. The rope is so small. Yashoda Mata did not tie Krishna with some iron shackles, iron chains. Simple household ropes and very soft silk ropes, not even jute ropes. She understands, if I take this rough jute ropes and my little baby's belly will be hurt, he will have some rashes. She got some simple silken ropes, right? And wooden grinding mortar, it's not so huge. It's very small. Household grinding mortar is to grind some spices, right? So mirchi, you have to grind some masala. So you use that wooden grinding mortar. Mortar is small. The rope is weak. But Krishna, when he pulled that mortar with the rope and went between the two trees were uprooted. And the trees were so gigantic. They were standing there for years together. They were so powerful. But Krishna empowered the rope and empowered the mortar with the ability to collapse, to uproot the huge Arjuna trees. That is Krishna's empowerment. If you just make a simple comparison, if the rope is strong, if the rope is stronger than the mortar will break. If the mortar is stronger than rope will break. But in either case, trees will not fall down, right? But rope did not break, mortar did not break, trees fell down. What is this? Krishna has given that empowerment to the rope and the mortar with the ability to uproot Yamalarjuna trees, although they were so huge. With the wood in one Yamalarjuna tree, we can make 1,000 mortars probably, 1,000 wooden grinding mortars, right? But that mortar had the ability to collapse these Arjuna trees. That power is not the mortar's power, that is Krishna's power. If Krishna can empower a rope, if Krishna can empower a flute, if Krishna can empower a mortar, a tree, Krishna can empower a devotee also to do something. Okay. So Sukadeva Goswami is speaking Srimad Bhagavatam because he is empowered by Krishna. Yasvanubhavamakila shruti saramekam adhyatma deepamatitirshatam tamondham samsarinam karunayah purana guhyam tam vyasa sonumupayami gurum muninam. When Sukadeva Goswami was speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the essence of all scriptures, out of his deep compassion for samsaris, those who are rotting in this material existence, his talk was so mesmerizing that Gurum Muninam, his Guru Vyasadeva and his Paramaguru, Guru's Guru, Narada Muni, both were sitting in his class and hearing Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami as if they are hearing for the first time. Vyasadeva did not say that I have taught him Bhagavatam. Narada Muni did not say, I have taught his teacher. Both are sitting there silently and hearing Bhagavatam as if they are hearing for the first time. Krishna Chakravarti Thakur says that Sukadeva Goswami has been empowered by Srimad Bhagavatam in such a way that he became the guru of his guru and Paramaguru also. But what is his qualification? Why did he get that empowerment? He's humble. Sukadeva Goswami was not thinking, I have become the guru of my guru. I'm better now. I'm the guru of my Paramaguru. I'm better now. That humility is not there. He is a transparent transmitter of the transcendental teachings. In the last canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, last chapter, there is a beautiful shloka. Kasmayena vibhasito yamatulo gnana pradipah pura tadrupena cha naradaya gunaye krishnaya tadrupina yogindraya tadatmanatha bhagavadrataya karunyatah tatshuddham vimalam vishokam amritam satyam param dhimahi. In this shloka, Sutta Goswami is saying that right in the beginning of creation, the Supreme Lord Krishna spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Brahma. And through Brahma, Krishna only spoke Bhagavatam to Narada Muni. And through Narada Muni, Krishna only taught Bhagavatam to Vyasadeva. And in the form of Vyasadeva, he taught Bhagavatam to Sukadeva Goswami. In the form of Sukadeva Goswami, Krishna only spoke Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj and Sutta Goswami. And later Sutta Goswami spoke to Naimisharanya sages. So in this glorious parampara, whether Krishna is speaking, or Brahma is speaking, or Narada Muni is speaking, or Vyasadeva is speaking, or Sukadeva Goswami is speaking, or Sutta Goswami is speaking, or one of us are speaking, if we are presenting the teachings as it is Krishna who is speaking. So the transcendental teachings of Krishna are transparently transmitted by all these teachers in the Guru Parampara for our transformation, to stop our tribulations, right? When we maintain the transparency, then our words are like Krishna's words. Not that we become Krishna, but we are representing Krishna. We are not a replacement for Krishna. We are representatives of Krishna, right? We are instruments in the hands of Krishna. When Krishna wants to inspire somebody, he may use our tongue, our mouth as an instrument to give that inspiration. Credit doesn't belong to us. Credit belongs to Krishna. Credit. Do you glorify the mortar? Wow, the mortar is so powerful. Mortar uprooted the Himalayas. Did you glorify the rope? The rope is so powerful. We can glorify also, of course. Satyavrata Muni glorified rope. What did he say? He said, Namaste studamne spuradipti dhamne tvadiyodaraya tha vishwasya dhamne namo radhikayai tvadiya priyayai Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyo. He may glorify the rope, but the credit belongs to Krishna. He may glorify the mortar, credit belongs to Krishna. He may glorify Arjuna, he may glorify all the parampara. Of course, we have to. But what is the consciousness of a sincere devotee? I am a servant of Krishna. I am empowered by Krishna. Now we spoke a lot about Arjuna. Nimittamatram bhavasamvya sachin. After Kurukshetra war was over, after Yudhishthira Maharaj became the king of Hastinapur, then Krishna departed eventually. Krishna went away from this planet. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj did not know this. He was sensing something. He was getting some clues, but he did not officially, he was not communicated that Krishna has departed from this planet. So at that time, Arjuna went to Dwaraka and he stayed there for 7 months. He did not come back. And Yudhishthira was waiting for Arjuna. So Arjuna came after 7 months. And as soon as Yudhishthira saw Arjuna, Yudhishthira just bombarded Arjuna with hundreds of questions. He asked about the welfare of all the relatives at Dwaraka. And Arjuna could not speak only. Arjuna was so overwhelmed with feelings of separation. He was thinking that, oh my God, this brother is asking 100 questions. What will I answer? He's asking about the welfare of our relatives at Dwaraka, but none of the relatives are existing now. They all departed from this planet. So they were a bit, he was feeling very overwhelmed. And after that, Yudhishthira Maharaj also asked about the personal welfare of Arjuna. Then also Arjuna was not responding. Finally, Arjuna opened his mouth. After some hundreds of questions asked by Yudhishthira Maharaj, Arjuna finally opened his mouth. The first thing that he said was, Vanchitoham Maharaja Harina Bandhurupina Yena me pahrutam tejo deva vismapanam mahat. Vanchitoham Maharaja. Oh Maharaja Yudhishthir. Vanchitoham. I have been cheated. I have been royally cheated. What happened? Harina Bandhurupina. Lord Hari appeared as my Bandhu, as my dear relative, friend, companion. But Yename Apahartam Tejo Deva Vismapanam Mahat. Now that he disappeared from this planet, all my Teja has been stolen away. It has been taken away. Hari gives you powers. Hari steals your powers back also. So with my powers, I could mesmerize millions of people earlier. So many kings came and bowed down in front of me. Arjuna, there's no warrior better than you. But now I could not even defeat some cowheads. I could not even defeat some cowhead men also because all my power is gone along with Krishna. Prabhupada writes a brilliant purport. You please refer to first canto, 15th chapter, 5th purport. Try to memorize it. If possible, verbatim you memorize it. At least get the essence of it. That is very much required for us to survive in the path of bhakti without becoming proud, without becoming puffed up of our accomplishments and achievements. Even our devotional accomplishments, spiritual achievements also could make us proud if we are in proper consciousness. So in this purport, Prabhupada beautifully writes, very beautifully. He says, even great devatas like Brahma or even pure devotees like Arjuna and Pandavas, they are given certain powers by the Lord. The Lord gives them some powers. And once the service is completed, the Lord will withdraw those powers. Krishna gives us some powers or talents or skills or manpower or money or resources or whatever we have, whatever we possess. Krishna will bestow those possessions to us so that we use these possessions in Krishna's seva. And once the service is completed, Krishna will take them away. Arjuna was a great celebrated warrior. He had great military skills. He was having Gandiva bow. Why Krishna has given all that to Arjuna? Because they were required to serve Krishna, to establish dharma in this world. The purpose of Krishna's descent is what? Paritranaya sadhona vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya. So to protect the righteous, to punish the vicious, and to establish dharma, Krishna descended. And what is Pandava's duty? Pandava's duty is to assist Krishna in doing these three things, isn't it? So now that is finished. That service is over. And Krishna has taken away all the powers. And Arjuna is totally powerless now, completely. And Arjuna is not lamenting for the loss of his powers. Arjuna is lamenting because he was missing Krishna. Okay. So Prabhupada writes that we may have so many talents. We may be expert singers, expert speakers, expert cooks, expert managers, expert book distributors, or expert whatever. There may be hundreds of things that we may do for Krishna. We may gain some expertise in all that. But that expertise is given by Krishna. And we have to responsibly utilize all that expertise and experience and resources in Krishna's seva without getting attached to those expertise, without getting attached to the name, fame, and prestige that we get by exhibiting those expertise. Right? When we utilize all these skills and talents in Krishna seva, people will glorify us. People will say, wow, amazing, wonderful, excellent. But yeah, we may feel a sense of encouragement. That's fine. We may take it as a blessing. All that is fine. But we should not get attached to it. We should not be attached to the powers. We should not be attached to the particular service. We should be attached to the principle of seva, but not be attached to the particular service. Okay. And we should definitely not be attached to the appreciation or the glorification or the praise that comes through that service. Our attachment should be in to get an opportunity to participate in the service. Right? So participation in service is important, not the recognition that we get by that participation. Okay. When we participate in Krishna's seva, we should feel fortunate, we should feel happy, we should feel grateful, for getting an opportunity to serve Krishna, we should participate enthusiastically. But if our focus goes from participation to recognition, gone. We'll be demotivated, because recognition comes and goes. Sometimes we are recognized, sometimes someone else is recognized. How comfortable are we when someone else is recognized and not me? Okay. So we should be always eager to render service to Krishna, knowing that the opportunity to render service to Krishna and the ability to render service to Krishna, both are coming from Krishna only. He gives us opportunities, he gives us abilities. That's all. And he gives us inspiration also. We may have ability, we may have opportunity, but we may not be inspired to do seva. That's another issue. So Krishna gives opportunity, inspiration, and ability. So what is our role here? If everything he is doing, what is our role here? Nimittamatram bhava savyasachini. We are an instrument in Krishna's plan. Krishna desired that this service should happen, and we are fortunate to get an opportunity to participate in the execution of that service. That's all. His desire. We are instruments in his desires, his plans, and we are nimittamatram. That's what Krishna is teaching us. Let me tell you one example. In Ramayana, Hanumanji, he was made the hero of Ramayana, actually speaking. The most exciting and beautiful aspect of Ramayana is Sundarakanda. It's considered like that. Sundarakanda is Sundar, very beautiful. So in Sundarakanda, what is Ram's role? He's there in the tongue of Hanuman. He's there in the mind of Sita Devi, or the heart of Sita Devi. But he's just sitting in Kishkinda. Hanuman is running the show, right from beginning of Sundarakanda till end of Sundarakanda, because Hanuman was made so prominent. Hanumanji was jumping across the Lanka ocean, and he was finding Sita Devi, and he's burning Lanka, he's coming back and giving that news to Ram, and Ram becomes so grateful to Hanuman. Hanumanji was given so much of prominence in Ramayana. And in Yuddhakanda, when Ram and Lakshman, they faint, Hanumanji goes Sanjeevani Mount, goes to Himalayas, gets Sanjeevani mountain and revives Lakshman. So to this degree, Hanumanji was given prominence in Ramayana. When it came to Mahabharata, what was the role given to Hanumanji? You just sit on Arjuna's flag and bless him. That's all you need to do. And when Bhima roars in the battlefield, you join him and you also roar. So Hanumanji is capable of making a chutney out of all Duryodhan, Dushyasan, Karna, Sakuni. He doesn't need 18 days to finish this Kurukshetra war. He just needs 18 minutes or 18 seconds or whatever. Right? Hanumanji becomes so big and then tramples on all the 18 Akshohinis of army, or 11 Akshohinis of armies that the Kauravas have gathered. Then war is over in few minutes. Hanumanji had that much power. But what is the role given by Krishna to him? You just sit on the flag, that's all. Don't do nothing. Nimittamatram bhava savyasachini. So sometimes Krishna gives us powers to execute some services, and Krishna also gives us the opportunities to execute some services. Okay. And that Krishna's sanction is our eligibility. We may have the ability, but we may not have the eligibility to do seva. Okay. So eligibility is given by Krishna, ability is also given by Krishna. Sometimes Krishna may give you ability, but he may not give you that opportunity. So we have to maintain low profile, that's all. Krishna wanted to give this very important lesson. What lesson? However powerful you are, however great you are, however talented you are, however influential you are, if you take the side of adharma, you will be defeated. Krishna wanted to give this message to everyone. And he made Bhishma as an instrument in his plan to give this message to people. Bhishma had a role, very important role in my drama. Will he play? What role? Negative role. Will he play? Bhishma said, okay, my dear Lord, you will be killed. Okay, no problem. You will be misunderstood by so many people. People will misunderstand that although you have ability, you are taking the side of adharma. You are not protecting Draupadi. You are siding Duryodhan. People will misunderstand you. Are you okay with it? My dear Lord, if that pleases you, if that assists you in your pastimes, I'm okay. That's what made Bhishma Mahajan. Bhishma did not become Mahajan for taking the side of Duryodhan. Bhishma became Mahajan for taking the side of Duryodhan to execute Krishna's will. Right? So people may question, Mahajan? You call him Mahajan? He's fought on the side of Duryodhan. No, he fought on the side of Duryodhan on behalf of Krishna. His body is on the side of Duryodhan, his heart is on the side of Pandavas. Heart is on the side of Krishna. Right? So sometimes you can stand against Krishna and be with Krishna also. And Krishna was giving more mercy to Bhishma than even Arjuna. So in this war, Arjuna was behind Krishna, and Arjuna was seeing the back of Krishna, and Bhishma was seeing the beautiful form of Krishna, standing in front, sitting in front, or whatever. So this is what it means to be an instrument in Krishna's plan. What kind of requirements may come in Krishna's service, we don't know. Sometimes my Krishna will keep us in limelight. Sometimes my Krishna will keep us inside a room. No light for you. No problem. Stay in darkness. Okay. But the heart is getting illuminated by Krishna Prema. Okay. So to be an instrument in Krishna's plan means to accept Krishna's will and execute Krishna's will to the best of our ability, which is actually given by the Lord. Okay. Not having any personal agendas or preferences. That's what Bhagavatam says. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktira dhokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Ahaituki, no personal agendas, no selfish desires, no ulterior motives. Right? Only motive is to please Krishna the way he wants, not the way I want. Krishna may expect us to do something which may not be apparently very exciting. Hey, ask me to do this. There are so many people. You catch some other volunteer. I will not do it. Whatever Krishna expects us to do, so we do. Sometimes he may put us in the limelight, although we are not very, very comfortable there. Sometimes he may expect us to take a low profile, although we want to come in front. We don't know what it means, what exactly Krishna expects us. So Hanumanji was made hero in Ramayana, but he was given a small role in Kurukshetra war. Just roar with Bhima, that is your role. Roaring is your role. Okay? And bless Hanumanji. Just sit on the flag. Sit on the flag. No, Hanumanji is very action oriented. He can just move anywhere. Okay? Hanumanji was a Vanara also. But Lord said, just sit there only. Sit there. Keep quiet. So he's an instrument in Krishna's plan. Prabhupada also writes in that 1.15.5 purport. He says that we should not be puffed up or proud of the borrowed plumes of feather. When a crow takes some peacock's feathers and puts in its tail and then says, I'm looking so beautiful, so mesmerizing, take a selfie with me. Right? So the crow will only make fun of its own self. Similarly, if we think we are the doers, we are jokers. We are not doers, we are jokers. If we think we are doers. Okay. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that there are three kinds of doers. Number one, the jiva, who desires to do some activity. Number two, the Supreme Lord, he himself, who sanctions that activity. Number three, Prakriti, that facilitates. Jiva desires, the Lord sanctions, and Prakriti facilitates. For the accomplishment of any task, there are three doers. You are seeing, and Jiva means not just one Jiva, there are 100 Jivas there. All of them we are putting in one category. Okay. So when so many people are involved, then where is my credit? How much credit do I have? For example, somebody does the deity so nicely, very beautifully. So the darshan came out well. And the pujari is being glorified by different devotees. Wow, such an amazing dressing you have done. But if you see what has happened in the background, the dressing is beautiful, Firstly, because the deity is beautiful. Krishna himself is so beautiful. Some sculptor has carved the deity so nicely. Some devotee has welcomed Krishna so nicely and desired that its worship should happen. So a lot of credit goes there. Okay, but Krishna stood there. Although we may have so many artistic abilities, but Krishna is standing there. He is the center of that beauty. Second, someone has stitched the dress so nicely. They selected the right color combination. They brought all the jewelry and embroidery and then stitched it properly. So that's one thing. Some credit should go to the dressmakers also. And someone has selected the jewelry. So all the garlands and necklaces and ear rings and nathani, damani, then turban pieces and all the someone has selected and maintaining the jewelry so nicely. Sometimes you may want to offer certain jewelry, you don't find it. So credit goes to the people who are maintaining the DT ornaments room and keeping things in place also. The credit for your dressing should go to them also, isn't it? I'm in the DT department. I understand this. And second, many devotees have made the garland so nice. Okay, garland makers, dressmakers, ornament makers, and whoever, all the DT altar background servers, and the DT who the carver of the DT, and all the devotees. The credit of one nice version goes to so many people, not just the person who has done the dressing by spending half an hour or 1 hour, isn't it? Yeah, that's another very important question, any important consideration. When we love Krishna, he appears beautiful to us. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder also. So how can I take credit for my dressing seva? Right? So garland is made by somebody else, right? So how can I take credit for my dressing seva? So a humble devotee is one who is very, very enthusiastic to render service and very responsible in rendering service as if he is doing it, right? So you should have that commitment, determination to do that service, that quote unquote positive passion to do that service. Yes, but at heart he understands service is happening by Krishna's will, Krishna's empowerment. I'm doing it, but I'm doing it only with the ability and inspiration and opportunity given to me by Krishna. Ultimately, credit goes to Krishna and his representatives, Guru, Krishna, Vaishnavas. They are there behind me. They are there with me. They are there in front of me. They are leading me. They are pushing me from behind. They are pulling me from front. They are just carrying me from on either side. So what is my role here, right? So that does not mean I don't have any role to play. Let me keep quiet. So we should utilize the God-given abilities in Krishna's seva responsibly, which refer to 1.15.5 purport. And 21 also, 2021 also Prabhupada writes beautifully. Arjuna only says this verse. Tadvai dhanushta ishavaha saratho hayaste soham rathin nrpatayo yata anamanti sarvam kshanena tadabhuda sadisha riktam bhasmam hutam kuhakara dhamivopamushyam. He says that, my dear brother, Yudhishthir Maharaj, please hear my realizations. What is the realization? He said, Tadvai dhanushta ishavaha sarathor hayaste. I am the same Arjuna, I have the same Gandiva bow, I have the same chariot, I have the same horses, I have the same arrows, and the same warrior. Soham rathi nrpatayo yata anamanti. So many Atirathis, Maharathis, and big warriors would come and offer obeisances to me. I'm that great warrior. But now I have become totally powerless. Sarvam kshanena tadabhud asad isha riktam. Isha riktam means because Krishna is not there with me now, everything has become useless. I have become powerless. I don't have any ability to even fight with a cowherd boy also. What to speak of warriors, right? He says all this paraphernalia becomes so useless, like bhasmam hutam, like oblations offered in ashes. You conduct a sacrifice. You pour pure organic cow ghee or whatever into the sacrifice by chanting mantras. It is called sacrifice. But if there is some ash, a big pile of ash, you put 10 kilos of organic ghee in it. Will you call it sacrifice? Will you call it yajna? All right. So my powers are like that. Ishariktam. When Krishna is not there, My powers are like oblations in ashes. My powers are like money created by the magic wand of a magician. You see, magicians in our childhood, when I was in 8th standard, one magician came to our school, right? He is doing a lot of magic, very thin person with his black coat or something. He is doing like that. He brought a machine. He put a white paper on one side and he's rolling that machine. 2000 rupee note came out. Or 100 rupee note, something like that. I don't remember now. In those days, 2000 rupee notes were not there. 25 years back or whatever. So 100 rupees note came out. If you can create money like that, why is he doing magic shows for 100 rupees payment? Right? So the money created by the magic wand of a magician is of no use. The sown in barren land are also of no use. Similarly, we may have so many talents and skills and positions and possessions. If Krishna's blessings are not there, they're of no use. Right? Whatever we have, it is meant to be utilized in Krishna's seva. And that is not there, then what's the use of having so many useless possessions or positions? So we should not be attached to our positions or possessions or powers. We should be attached to the principle of rendering service to Krishna. Whatever I have, let me use in Krishna's seva. So this is what Krishna is repeatedly teaching us. And Arjuna went into a deep remembrance. He said, closed his eyes and he said, my dear Lord, my dear Yudhishthira Maharaj, we could win over so many warriors on this Kurukshetra battle only because of Krishna. I could win the hand of Draupadi and solve that Matsya Yantra only by Krishna's grace. I could kill the Nivata Kavacha demons by Krishna's grace only. I could defeat entire Kuru army and protect Virata Maharaj's cows only by Krishna's grace. I could defeat Indra and Mayadanava by Krishna's grace. Mayadanava has created Maya Sabha for us by Krishna's grace. If Krishna is not there, we cannot do anything. And earlier, Yudhishthira also said the same thing. Whatever we have, our victory, our positions, our possessions, our prosperity, everything is by Krishna. And Kunti Mata also said that. Krishna, after Kurukshetra war, he wanted to go to Dwarka. Kunti came running and said, Krishna, you are going to Dwarka? Who will protect my sons? Krishna said, Bhima is so powerful, Arjuna is so powerful, and you have the personification of Dharma, our dear Yudhishthira Maharaj. You are safe and secure. Then Kunti Maharani said that my sons are like senses without soul. Body may have senses, right? Strong legs are there, eyes are there, hands are there, everything is there, but when soul is not there, the body is useless. We are like that. Kunti Maharani is saying this. Okay. So we are dependent on you, my dear Lord. Exclusively dependent on you. We have no power without you. So to acknowledge that whatever we have and whatever we are is only by Krishna's grace, and then act accordingly is to act as instrument in Krishna's plan. Right? So malleability to the will of Krishna is expected from a sincere devotee. There's a beautiful shloka in the first canto of Bhagavatam, spoken by Sutta Goswami. He says, Sarathya parishada sevana sakhya dautya Veerasananugamanastavana pranhaman Snigdheshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha Vishnor Bhaktim karoti nripatis charanaravinde. Sarathya, Krishna acted as a sarathi, a chariot driver for Pandavas. Parishada, he is also accepting Agra Puja in the Rajasuya sacrifice. Sevana, he is serving the Pandavas. Sakhya, he is also friend to the Pandavas. Dautya, he acted as a messenger to the Pandavas. Sarathya, Parishada, Sevana, Sakhya, Dautya, Virasana, he was like a night watchman. Anugamana, he is following the instructions of Yudhishthira Maharaj because he is elder cousin. Anugamana, Stavana, he is praising them. Pranama, he is offering obeisances to them. Why Krishna is doing all these menial services to the Pandavas? Krishna is not an ordinary person. Krishna is Snigdheshu Pandushu Jagat Pranatim cha Vishnu. He is Jagat Pranatim cha Vishnu. He is the original Vishnu. In front of him, all the Jagats will offer obeisances. But he is doing all these menial services because Snigdheshu Pandushu. All the Pandavas are malleable by the will of the Lord. They are willing to act as instruments in Krishna's plan. And their connection with Krishna is the real glory, the real wealth. Yatra dharma suto raja gada panir vrikodarah Krishnostrigandivam chapam suhrit Krishnastato vipat. Yatra dharma suto raja. Dharma suto raja is our Yudhishthira Maharaj, who is a personification of dharma. Gada panir vrikodarah. Vrikodara, our Bhima, is Gada panir. He doesn't even has to hold a gada also. His fist has so much strength. His one arm has the strength of 10,000 elephants. You keep 10,000 elephants in one row, then you punch the first elephant. What will happen? Your hand will pain, right? But if Bhima punches the first elephant, the 10,000th elephant will fall down. You imagine what happened to the first elephant, and second elephant, and third elephant. That is Bhima's strength. Yatra dharma suto raja gada panir vrikodaraha Krishnostri gandivam chapam. And on top of it, Arjuna is there with his gandiva, very expert. Suhrit Krishna. But these are not the real possessions or the real wealth of the Pandavas. Suhrit Krishna. Krishna is their direct friend. Krishna is their direct well-wisher. Suhrit. That's the real wealth. Our real wealth is our connection with Krishna. Not our name, fame, prestige, possessions, money, or anything else. Skills, talents. These are not our properties. Physical assets are not our property. Our intellectual abilities are not our property. What is our property? Whatever love we have for Krishna is our property. Whatever devotion, whatever genuine affection that we have for Krishna is our real possession. We need to be possessive about that possession, but we should give up our possessiveness towards all other possessions. That is our position as a servant of Krishna. Then we are called instrument in Krishna's plans. And even our ability to offer prayers to Krishna also comes from Krishna. Even our inspiration to offer prayers to Krishna also comes from Krishna. Gajendra, after 1,000 years of struggling and fighting with the crocodile, how come he suddenly felt that I had to offer prayer to the Lord? Krishna inspired from within, right? Krishna gave him the ability to offer prayers. How can elephant offer prayer? Krishna gave ability. What's your problem? Krishna gave ability to Gajendra to offer prayers. You know Dhruva? This is a perfect example. Dhruva Maharaj had an ambition to attain a position superior to Brahma also. And his mother told him, whatever desire you have, you should worship the Lord. And Dhruva, without telling anyone, he just left the palace, entered the forest, and he started worshipping. Narada Muni came to guide him. Narada Muni said, you chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Dhruva went to Madhavan and chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. For 6 months he chanted. Then the Supreme Lord manifested in Dhruva's heart, and Dhruva became so blissful seeing that form, and suddenly Dhruva lost the form. He became perturbed. He opened his eyes. That form of the Lord which he has seen in his heart is standing in front of him directly. He became excited. He became so excited, he offered prostrated obeisances to the Lord, and he got up and he wanted to offer prayers to the Lord. He wanted to praise the Lord spontaneously. But he's a 5-year-old child. He does not have so much vocabulary, no experience, not so much knowledge, no poetic abilities to compose prayers. The Lord understood his awkward situation. Then the Lord took his conch shell, Panchajanya conch shell, and touched Dhruva's head with that conch shell. Entire Vedic knowledge has been revealed to Dhruva just with the touch of the Lord's conch shell. Then Dhruva offered eloquent prayers. You know what he said? Yontah pravishya mama vachamimam prasuttam sanjeevayatyakila shakti dharah swadhamnam anyamsya hastacharana shravanatvagadin pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. Yo antah pravishya, Krishna, you have entered within me. Mama vachamimam prasuttam. And you have awakened my ability to speak. My power of speech is sleeping till now. And you have awakened it. Why power of speech is sleeping? Not sleeping actually. He spoke so many things in front of Narada Muni. Narada Muni said, my dear child, please go back home. He said, no, my blood is boiling now. I want to take revenge on my stepmother. Suruchi, she insulted me. My heart is pained by her harsh words. I have to do something. I want to attain a position superior to even my great-grandfather Brahma also. I was not allowed to sit on my father's lap. I was not allowed to sit on my father's throne. He said so many things. But now he's saying, so far my power of speech is sleeping. And you have awakened it. The meaning, the intention here is, my dear Lord, unless the power of speech that I have is utilized in your seva, it is sleeping only. Okay. Unless we utilize all our senses in Krishna's service somehow or the other, the senses are said to be sleeping. We have to awaken our senses by engaging them in the service of the Lord. Okay. So that's what it means to be an instrument in Krishna's plan. Anyamscha hasta charana shravana tvagadin pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. Not only have awakened my power of speech, you have also awakened my other senses, my hands and my legs and everything, all my limbs, ears and nose, everything is awakened by engaging in your service. So whatever ability that we have, the ability of the senses, ability of the words, ability of the mind, ability of the intellect, everything must be utilized in Krishna's seva. That's what it means to be an instrument in Krishna's plan. I am Krishna's. I belong to Krishna. And whatever I do is for Krishna. Yat karoshi, yat ashnasi, yat juhoshi, dadasi, yat tapassasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. Unless I am doing whatever I am doing for Krishna's grace, I am not acting as Krishna's servant or an instrument in Krishna's plans. So when I take a pen and do a signature, who did the signature? It's me or the pen? So pen wrote, but does the pen have the ability to do the signature? I have to hold it, then only pen can write. Similarly, do I have the ability to do anything? Krishna is holding me. Krishna is making me do things. I am not the doer. This sense of doership will spoil our devotion, because this sense of doership is inseparable from sense of enjoyership. If I think I am the doer, I will naturally think I am the enjoyer. I did this seva, so let me enjoy the results of this seva. I am entitled for all the privileges that come by doing this seva. So a sense of entitlement will come. A sense of gratitude will go. So when we have this sense of doership, we think we are the enjoyers. Doer, enjoyer. And I deserve things, but we cannot be grateful. So an ideal devotee, a humble devotee is one who becomes grateful for the opportunity to render service and perform service with full responsibility and commitment and dedication, yet gives all credit to Krishna, Guru and Vaishnavas, and be very grateful and is not very eager to take credit. You know, when Prabhupada wrote Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, at the end he wrote that by the grace of my Guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, I could complete this. Whatever credit is there for my translation work should go to my Guru Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, not me. I don't have bhakti, I don't have great devotion, I'm not a great devotee, and I don't know the Vedas also. I don't know so much philosophy also. Bhakti Vedanta Swami is claiming that I don't have bhakti, I don't know Vedanta. Whatever I know, whatever I did is only by the grace of my Guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He gave all credit to his Guru, and he's also giving all credit to his disciples. All credits will go to my disciples also, my American disciples who helped me in printing and publishing and editing and doing whatever processing is required to make these books. Right? So Prabhupada is humble enough to just give all credit to the Guru Parampara and also his disciples whom he has trained. So when that sense of non-doership is there, while we do with full commitment and responsibility and zeal and passion and determination, when we maintain a sense of non-doership, then we are acting as instruments in Krishna's plans. Sutta Goswami says that birds fly high into the sky as far as their ability of flying is there. Sometimes you see some birds, peacock, how much it can fly. How peacock cannot fly so high, right? It may just at the max go on the boundary wall. But there are some other birds like sparrows, they can fly higher. Crows, they can fly higher. Pigeons, they can fly higher. Eagles, they can fly much higher. Vultures, they can fly more higher. Like you see Sampati and Jatayu. So they are flying so high that that Sampati's wings are burned by sun also. So birds can fly high into the sky as far as the Lord has bestowed upon them the ability to fly. Similarly, a devotee can describe the Lord's glories as far as the Lord has given them the power of description. A devotee can sing the glories of the Lord as far as the Lord has given him the ability to sing. That ability to sing, ability to speak, ability to serve is not our ability. Some devotees, when they blow conch shell, a lot of sound comes. When I blow conch shell, only air comes. So I don't blow conch shell. So I tried initially, then last 10 years I didn't touch because I can't. So it's not there. Maybe if I try, I may get also. But point is, whatever we are doing, sometimes it may have great impact, sometimes it may not have much impact. The impact is desired by Krishna, and the ability is bestowed by Krishna. We cannot take credit for all this, right? That is to act as a humble instrument in Krishna's plans. If a spoon thinks that I have made the sambar, without sambar you cannot stir the contents and sambar will not come out. But the spoon is just an instrument in the cook's hands. And now the cook is also an instrument in Krishna's hands, right? So while being an instrument in Krishna's hands, we should understand that we are not non-living instruments like the spoons and pens. We are living instruments. You understand this? The difference between the spoon and me? Difference between the spoon, pen and the person? We are living instruments. So when a person is using a spoon to make a preparation or using the pen to write a statement, the pen or the spoon does not have any independence or free will or consciousness to make a choice. But Krishna has given us some consciousness. He has given us some free will. He has given us some minute independence to make a choice. By utilizing that independence, if we make a choice to serve Krishna and not to enjoy sense gratification, then we are real instruments in Krishna's plans. Other instruments, they don't have the independence. But we have independence. We have free will. We have consciousness. We are living beings. We are not non-living things. When we utilize our independence to consciously act as Krishna's instruments, then we are real instruments. Not that we are made to act like this. We chose to act like this. So love of Godhead is basically to choose, to voluntarily make a choice to act as Krishna's instruments. I didn't speak much from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Let me speak that also, the last 2-3 minutes. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing his South India Yatra. And he came to Ramananda Rai's place on the bank of Godavari. And as soon as he saw Ramananda Rai, he became very ecstatic. He had tears in his eyes. Because Ramananda Rai, although he's a Rajasevi, still, he's a government officer, still, he is the best of all the knowers of Radha Krishna Tattva. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understands the glory of Ramananda Rai. He said, Ramananda Rai, I want your association. Can we meet in the evening to discuss the pastimes of Radha Krishna, Tattva of Radha Krishna? Then Ramananda Rai said, okay, my dear Lord, let's meet in the evening. That evening they met. Whole night they were discussing Radha Tattva, Krishna Tattva, Radha Krishna Leela, Rasa Tattva. For 10 days they were discussing so many subject matters. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my dear Ramananda Rai, you have made my yatra successful. I'm relishing the glories of Radha and Krishna in your company, in your uplifting association. I'm so grateful to you. So many things you say. Then Ramananda Rai said, my dear Lord, don't put me in illusion. Okay. You are speaking through my tongue. Okay. So, Mora jihva vena yantra, tumi vena dhari. My jihva, my tongue is a Veena yantra. You know Veena? Some little kid, her name is Veena. I don't know whether he's here. Yesterday we met. So Veena, I am a stringed instrument. And you are Veena dhari. You are playing the Veena. So when somebody is playing veena, it is the veena will produce sound according to the emotion or the raga that the veena player wants to play. Veena cannot produce a sound on its own. Although veena has all the uh, necessary ability to produce that sound, someone has to actually make it produce that sound. So you are veena dhari, I am a veena yantra. I am your instrument. And he said further, Yei mata nachao chahi nachibar. The way you make me dance, I want to dance. I desire to dance. He did not say, you are making me dance and dancing. No. I want to, I desire to, I voluntarily choose to dance according to your wish. You understand? So chahi nachibar, not just nachibar, chahi, I desire. A devotee is one who sincerely desires to act as an instrument in Krishna's plan. Now, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he begins this chapter by saying, Sancharya Rama Bhita Bhakta Meghe Swabhakti Siddhanta Chayamrutani. He says, Ramanandara is Bhakta Megha, is a cloud, devotee cloud. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the ocean of all conclusions of bhakti. And this cloud gets water from the ocean, right? And when the cloud rains, the rain will fall back on the ocean. So Mahaprabhu is the ocean of all conclusive truths of devotional service, siddhantas. All bhakti siddhantas are there in Mahaprabhu. He's like an ocean. And the cloud of Ramananda is getting some water droplets from the ocean and raining it back. This is what we need to think. Krishna is the ocean of all powers. Krishna is the ocean of all opportunities for service. And I am a cloud getting some droplets of water from this ocean, not the salt ocean, nectarian ocean. Okay, I'm getting some droplets from this ocean and I'm giving it back to them. We get powers from Krishna and we use the powers in Krishna's seva. That's the life of a devotee, to act as instrument in Krishna's plans, right? We receive powers from Krishna, we use powers in Krishna's seva. And that's the perfection of human life. And that's the aspiration of all pure devotees. Lord, just make me act the way you want me to act. I'm ready. Tell me. Karishye vachanam tava. Initially, our Arjuna said, I will not fight. Utilize his intelligence. He thought that he's a well-wisher of all the warriors on the battlefield. He has compassion. Krishna, you are asking me to kill? You are asking me to be violent? Krishna said, you are not Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. I am Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. Right? You are thinking that you are acting as a well-wisher by saying that you will not kill them. And am I not well-wisher? If I say that you kill them, am I not well-wisher? I am well-wisher. That's why I am asking you to kill them. They need to be killed for the mistakes that they have done. For the mistakes that they have done. Even if Krishna gives a punishment to a person, he's a well-wisher only. Krishna is a better well-wisher of even Duryodhana and all the Kauravas than even Arjuna, who wants to forgive them. Krishna wants to punish them and Arjuna wants to forgive them. Who's a better well-wisher? You see, it seems Arjuna is a better well-wisher. But it's Krishna who is a well-wisher. Right? So Krishna, when he saw Duryodhana lying on in this pool of blood, with his thigh broken by Bhima's gada, Krishna was not happy. Krishna was not at all happy. Krishna felt so bad. Krishna felt that I have given him so many opportunities, but he did not utilize the opportunities. Right? I have to see him like this. Even Krishna also feels bad when we misuse our independence and act in inappropriate ways. So when he punishes us, he does it for our own rectification as a well-wisher. When a mother chastises the child, that is not a display of her envy or anger, that's a display of our affection and love. Okay, so that's the nature of Krishna also. He's the supreme father, he's the supreme mother, he's supreme everything, right? So the success of our life is to act as humble instruments in Krishna's plan and do our service to the best of our ability. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada. The organizers can say how much time we have. I have an instrument in their plans. So I'll take as many questions as the organizers allow.
Prabhu, the first question is about what you said is truth to hear and to accept intellectually or even mentally, but my conditionings and my false ego are deeper than any beautiful presentation I may read or hear about. If you could comment on that. And the second question, should I ask later or now?
Yes, as you said, sometimes our own conditionings and egoistic conceptions may not allow us to accept that we are instruments, we are humble servants, but we may think we are the doers.
Even if I don't consciously think, it's just the baseline of my existence.
Yes, we may not consciously think, but the reason for which we are here is that. So, when we regularly hear how we are always dependent on Krishna, we are not independent doers. When we regularly discuss all these pastimes with other devotees, eventually we will give up all those unfavorable conceptions and come to this real understanding that we are instruments and we act accordingly. So constantly discussing and hearing and also seeing the examples of some sincere devotees, live examples of sincere devotees who are really acting as uh, humble servants of the Lord and not having pride or greed or envy or some kind of egoistic conceptions. Seeing their personal examples also will help us, right? So we can pray, Krishna, please give me that right consciousness. Okay, I'm intellectually accepting it, but I'm unable to act on this level. Please make me act. Be empower me. You bless me.
Thank you. The um, the second question has come up a few times when um, people of philanthropic predisposition ask this question as to how can the Supreme Lord, the well-wisher of all living entities, wish that more than 600 million people be killed? Um, um, One of the answers I had received was that in Bhishma's prayers, I think the second last verse says that every single person killed on the battlefield in presence of Krishna was promoted.
Liberated. Even Uddhava says this in the third canto Bhagavata. तथैव चान्ये नरलोकवीरहाय आहवे कृष्णमुखारविन्दम् नेत्रैः पिबन्त्यो नयनाभिरामं पार्थास्त्रपूतं पदमापुरस्य तथैव चान्ये नरलोकवीरा. There are so many Naralokaviras, great warriors, heroes in the human world. They all have gathered on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and they died. But while dying, Yahave Krishna Mukhara Vindam, they were able to see the beautiful lotus-like face of Krishna. Netraih Pibantyo Nayana Abhiramam, and they were able to relish the beauty of Krishna at the time of giving up their body. Parthastra Putam, on top of it, Partha Astra Putam. Partha is Arjuna, Astra means his weapons, Putam is their purified. So they are getting double purification. The purification of being purified by Arjuna's arrows and also the purification of seeing Krishna's face. Padama Purasya, they attained liberation. They attained positions in heavenly, spiritual kingdom. Right. Hare Krishna. Even punishment of Krishna is also purification and protection.
Radhe Krishna Prabhuji. My question is that means Draupadi's disrobing was Krishna's plan. and that is the reason for the war. And is that because of the 10% freedom that was being given to Jadanta Kuru brothers, that they started, repeatedly they did try to harm the Pandavas, that got accumulated, and
Good.
finally that.
Sometimes when a demoniac person, cruel person, wicked person is doing heinous and sinful activities, is that Krishna's plan? Is that Krishna's will? Are they instruments in Krishna's plan? These questions we will get. Not a blade of grass moves without Krishna's sanction. We keep saying this. Okay. Somebody asked me this question. Not a blade of grass moves without Krishna's sanction. What is the role of my independence? Then I said, your independence is also sanctioned by Krishna. And Krishna has given you that independence, whether to use it or misuse it. So Krishna gave independence. If we use it, this is the result. If we misuse it, that is the result. In that sense, Krishna is the ultimate doer. But we cannot attribute our misuse of independence to Krishna's plan. That's the point. Let me give you one simple example. Sun is rising in the sky, in the eastern direction, in the morning. You went and stood in front of the sun. What do you see? You will see the bright light of the sun. But you turned your face away from the sun, like this. You showed your back to the sun and you were just standing in opposite direction. What do you see? You will see your shadow, darkness. So that darkness or the shadow appeared in front of you only because sun is behind you, right? Isn't it? Without sun behind you, you cannot see shadow in front of you. Means sun is the cause of darkness also. Sun is the cause of light also. Sun is the cause of darkness also. Isn't it? Shadow is caused by sun, isn't it? Light is caused by sun, right? So, but we see light when we face sun. We see darkness when we turn away from sun. Similarly, good and bad, both are created by the Lord. In the sense that when we use our independence properly, aligning our intelligence with the virtues, values, principles, morals, teachings of the Lord, then we see good. But when we misuse our independence and act against these teachings of the Lord, then we see bad. In that sense, Krishna is ultimate doer, ultimate cause of all causes. We'll discuss more of it in Tuesday's. Right?
I have one more question.
Yeah, this question is addressed.
Yeah, that's why 10% freedom given to Kuru brothers, and they misused it.
10%.
I mean, whatever.
Ah,
The Kuru brothers
minute
misused
independence, yeah.
whatever. My another question, you concluded your talk with that you accept as instrument whatever in Krishna's plan, but I don't want to be in Krishna's negative plan, because I always pray, Krishna, take me to Asutama. That's why that's my favorite mantra, Asutama Sadgama. Take me to enlightenment. Nobody wants to be in negative way Krishna's plan, part of Krishna's plan.
Krishna.
Ah.
Ultimately, it's positive because it is Krishna's plan.
Yeah, that is sacrifice. He is sacrifice.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't want sacrifice. You don't want to sacrifice. See, Krishna also said, "Ekama prapadyante." He will also reciprocate with you. Don't worry. Yes. Any other question? Yes, Prabhu.
We glorify the devotee, not that because everything is happening to Krishna's plan. So suppose somebody is doing nice, we glorify Prabhupada, right? Because he's done so much to spread Krishna consciousness. But the credit of the devotee, he has used his free will to surrender to Krishna, and that for that reason we glorify, and that for that reason he has become empowered. Shri Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tar Pravartan.
Yes.
So that is where the devotee's credit is.
Yes.
Otherwise, everything is coming, but that free will, the desire to surrender to Krishna, that is the.
Yes.
Other
Exactly.
Yes.
This is 100%. Dhruva desired to offer prayers. Ability and inspiration, ability and knowledge, everything is given to Dhruva by the Lord, but he desired, right? Yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna. You said the jiva desires Krishna sanctions and Prakriti facilitates, but if our constitutional position is to be a non-doer, where is there a place for desire? how can we desire if we shouldn't be
It's not
doing?
that constitutional position is non-doer. Our constitutional position is to be servant of Krishna, and a servant does service. So our constitutional position is to serve Krishna. There is action involved, there is emotion involved, there is intelligence involved. All this is involved. It's not that we are void, we are attributeless. So there is action, there is emotion, there is expression. Everything is there in our constitutional position. But we serve not in the mode of being accomplishers or achievers. We serve in the mode of being instruments, in the mode of being servants. The mode we are discussing about. But doing is an action is there, of course. We mentioned it several times. We have to be responsible, we have to be committed, we have to be determined to render services. And we think that, yes, if I'm not there, the service will not happen. In the sense that you are responsible for the service, not that you are the doer. Ultimately, Krishna is doing it. Krishna is making it happen. But Krishna wants you to participate for your purification. So that's our eagerness. That's our enthusiasm. Make sense?
Yes.
Thank you. Shivam. Sorry, Shivam's father.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the nice class. Prabhuji, how do we know what is Krishna's will so that our free will is aligned to that? Sometimes, I mean,
Nice question. Very practical question. How do we know what is Krishna's will? So that I can act as an his instrument. Krishna's will is communicated to us by his representatives. Guru, spiritual master, is the representative of Krishna. The Vaishnavas are the representatives of Krishna. Parampara, the Guru Parampara is the representative of Krishna. And we have access to Krishna's words also directly, isn't it? You open Bhagavad Gita, you'll understand what Krishna wants us to do. What Krishna wants us to do? Manmana bhava madbhakto vadya jivam namaskuru. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. Ananyascinta yanto mam yejana padipasati. This is Krishna's expectations are clear. Right? What Krishna wants us to do, he has clearly mentioned in his books. And they are further explained to us by Acharyas like Srila Prabhupada. And there are other followers and representatives of Prabhupada who are explaining them even more elaborately and then giving us practical services, what exactly we are supposed to do. It could be cooking, or it could be dressing, or it could be preaching, or it could be distributing books, or whatever. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any other question or comment, or should we conclude? It's 1:55. Sorry, 12:55. Yes, we'll conclude. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.